Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Sydney and Lori and David and Sean and Cheryl and Colin and all of their loved ones, family and friends to this wedding. My name is Forrest Yesness. I am Sydney's cousin. Technically, we're second cousins, but that condition has never really mattered to us. Sydney's grandfather, Erwin, and my grandfather, Fred, were brothers. Two men neither of us had a chance to meet, but whose names we inherited proudly and whose sons raised us. It was a blast to grow up with Sydney and with Morgan, and to know Sid as an adult, and to count Sean as a dear friend and soon-to-be cousin. As we get started, I want to invite Sydney and Sean, the two of you, to take a little bit of a step towards me, and also to take a look out. Look out at this crowd of people who are here today for the two of you. Soak it in. Let's send some big smiles and good vibes up to Sydney and Sean tonight. Beam up some love from the crowd. And Sydney and Sean, you two have worked hard preparing for today, and now it's time to be inside of today with your people. So take a deep breath, and you can turn back and face each other. These people here this afternoon came from as far as Australia and as near as 2 doors down from your childhood homes. And they came from across Minnesota and Indiana, people you've known for a long time who watched you grow up, and people who have grown up alongside you. Hometown people, neighbors, high school friends, Butler folks, go Dogs. Loved ones from California, Texas, and New York. This is your community all at once. And there are people who are not here, at least not physically, who we so wish were. Sean's grandparents, Mary and Dennis and Marcia and Robert. Sydney's grandparents, Mamie and Walt and Barbara and Erwin. Sydney's uncle Greg, and of course, our Morgan. A few words about my cousin Morgan. While Morgan was Sydney's younger brother, many of us are aware that he could still hold his own. Beyond perhaps his physical stature, there was nothing little about him. His love for Sydney was fierce and protective. He craved time with you, Sid, at every age, in every way, something not so common with siblings. We would have known directly, loudly, perhaps even with a few colorful words, if Morgan did not approve of Sean. But it was quite the opposite. These two were peas in a pod, brothers long before today makes it official. Thank God Morgan and Sean had so much time together. David actually told me that Morgan used to beg Sydney and Lori and David to leave the house so he and Sean could stay back, watch sports, and play video games. I think we can hear Morgan's pleading for this in our heads. That's love. So while it's so difficult that he's not standing next to us today, I hope we can take some comfort in remembering that in addition to his parents, the two things Morgan loved the most were Sydney and Sean. Sydney and Sean met like any love story begins, a flailing grade in freshman year economics. Sydney was not doing so well in class, and Sean was recommended as a tutor by a friend. They started dating the following year, a decade ago this fall. I know what you're thinking. There's nothing more romantic, nothing sexier than tutoring economics. So it's no wonder they ended up together. I'm told that Sydney's grade improved, but only up to a B+. A B+, Sean? Is that the best? Is that what you bring to the table? All I'm saying is if another tutor had brought it up even to an A minus, there might be a different groom up here today. Or maybe a B plus really was miracle enough. So you dated throughout school, you attended formals and other events as one. Sean visited Minnesota and even visited Sydney and Venice when she was studying abroad. After graduating from Butler, they each moved to different cities, Sean to Indianapolis, Sydney here to Minneapolis. But you visited each other frequently those 2 years before finally realigning and moving in together here in Minnesota. Fortunately for the Yesness family, and unfortunately for Sean, he was quickly folded into family gatherings, as was Sydney with the Robertsons. Sydney and Sean have been building their life together for many years. In this way, today is an important celebration of the life they have together, but not the start of it. They bought their house in Richfield, renovating and otherwise fixing it up to their standards, taking on projects like building garden beds that they both contribute rather impressive skills and patience to. This chuppah, this structure that we stand under today, represents that home and any future homes that Sydney and Sean build and share together. Today's was made by Sydney and is draped in Morgan's talit, the prayer shawl he received when he became bar mitzvah. If you know these two as you do, you know that I can't possibly omit Soleil from their story. Just 2 years ago, though if you know Soleil, might feel a little bit longer, they brought Soleil into the mix. This third member of their family is a perfect addition to keep up with the active and cuddly needs of her roommates. These days, Sydney and Sean fill the important hours in their life together with trips up to the North Shore, hiking amid the fall colors, warming up in Sarasota with Sean's family, lounging on the water here at the cabin with Sydney's family, visiting breweries, and cooking warm, thoughtful meals at home together. And today, they get married. What a joy it is to be together this afternoon to celebrate the two of you. You are magnificent together. You honor each other's interests and needs. You hold each other accountable. You share responsibilities and trust the other so profoundly. You are a model of partnership. I asked both sets of your parents to share some of what they love about who their child is marrying. And I want to reflect a bit back to each of you. A bit because both sides went on and on and on, and they had a tough time narrowing in, which is not to be taken for granted. Sean, David and Lori love who you help Sydney to be, that you encourage her to be her best and to try new things, that you ground her and that you keep her joyful, the ways you showed up for her through Morgan's life and death, and how you showed up for the two of them as well. They can see how much you respect Sydney. David said some other stuff that I can't really repeat up here today, but know that it was kind even if it was in a David sort of way. Sydney, Colin and Cheryl love how you keep Sean laughing. In fact, how you keep their entire family laughing. They went so far as to say that you are the Lucille Ball to Sean's Desi Arnaz, which I have to say is more and more fitting every time I think about it. They love how you keep him light, how you weave meaning and family into everything. And they respect the team players you both are, singing praises about how you, Sydney, vision and plan and organize everything, and how Sean, and I'm quoting here, how Sean is really good at getting things done, much of it before Sydney wakes up. You two are fully embraced by each other's family, and today those two families become one. It's a joy to celebrate our beloved Sydney and Sean. There's a tradition from Jewish weddings to recite 7 blessings, 7 different intentions that bless the life of the couple to be one that's full of joy and hope. 7 comes from the story of creation, of the 7 days it took to transform our world from nothingness into completion. And so we have the same wishes for Sydney and Sean, that they live long, healthy lives that feel whole and purposeful and loving, that their home is safe and full of humor, that they continue learning and growing both on their own as a couple and in the communities that sustain them. It's common practice nowadays to reinterpret these ancient blessings to better fit the couple. And Sydney and Sean have done just that today by inviting 7 loved ones to each share a wish. I have them written down, so if anybody's in line worrying, we've got you. We're going to start with Karin, and everybody knows the order from there.
Thank you, Forrest. Dear Sydney and Sean, it's in a world that's often, excuse me, she's directing as usual. In a world that's often crazier than we would like, your love gives inspiration to all of us. Our wish for you is that you continue to live a life full of love, and may you continue your existing admiration, appreciation, and understanding of each other to grow and foster love that is always passionate and tranquil. That's an interesting combination, I think. And real. May this love between you be strong and enduring and help you to build a strong and lasting partnership and bring peace into your lives. That'll
Our wish for you is to fill your home with warmth and compassion. May you teach your children to respect themselves and others, and instill in them the value of learning more than ever, and making the world a better place.
Sydney and Sean, I have the gift of humor. May you continue to be best friends, working together to build a sense of relationships of substance and quality. May your sense of humor and playful spirit continue to enrich your relationship. May you respect each other's individual personality and give each other room to grow and fulfilling your dreams.
We all wish for you a life full of wisdom, surrounded by people with wisdom. May you continually learn from one another and from the world around you. Together, may you grow and deepen your knowledge and understanding of each other as you travel and create your own journey.
Our wish for you is to live a long, healthy life together. May you keep a well-balanced new boundaries and continue to share the joy in every day of life in healthy evenings. Sean and Sydney, our wish to you is for beauty and creativity.
Your life and build the beauty of this world. May your creative inspirations and experiences inspire you and bring you joy and fulfillment.
We hope you find happiness together in adventures big and small, and something to celebrate each day of your lives.
Sydney and Sean, our wish for you is to maintain this beautiful harmony. We hope there will always be love, trust, and laughter, and perpetual support in life's biggest challenges.
So much gratitude to our wishers. And now it's my pleasure to invite up Lori and Cheryl.
Yes,
The Meaning of Love by Krina Shah. To love is to share life together, to build special plans just for two, to work side by side and then smile with pride, as one by one, dreams all come true. To love is to help and encourage with smiles and sincere words of praise, to take time to share, to listen and care in tender and affectionate ways.
To love is to have someone special, one on whom you can always depend to be there through the years, sharing laughter and tears as a partner, a lover, a friend. To love is to make special memories of moments you love to recall, of all the good things that sharing life brings. Love is the greatest gift of all.
Thank you both. I'm going to call on best man Ian to make sure we have these very important items. Thank you, sir. I'll turn the microphone over to Sydney and Sean in just a moment. They have their own vows to read to each other this afternoon. These are, of course, pretty incredible commitments to make to each other and to their relationship, and their intimate words to speak to each other, let alone to have in a crowd, even if that crowd loves them. So I'm inviting our guests today to lean in, appreciate that we're being brought into this relationship tonight, and pay close attention to these wonderful gifts of promises that Sydney and Sean are giving to each other. Sydney, we'll start with you. I'm going to give you Sean's ring. I, Sydney, choose you, Sean, to be my husband.
I, Sydney, choose you, Sean, to be my husband.
I vow to love you unconditionally
I vow to love you unconditionally
and without hesitation.
and without hesitation.
I vow to encourage and inspire you,
I vow to encourage and inspire you,
trust and respect you.
trust and respect you.
I promise to stand by your side
I promise to stand by your side
and be your closest confidant
and be your closest confidant
through our brightest and darkest days.
through our brightest and darkest days.
We will continue to create a home
We will continue to create a home
filled with learning, laughter, and unwavering love.
filled with learning, laughter, and unwavering love.
Today I commit to choosing you every day,
Today, I commit to choosing you every day,
to share my life openly and honestly with you,
to share my life openly and honestly with you,
and support and share
share
your despair and joy
your despair and joy
for all the days of my life.
for all the days of my life.
Important. I, Sean, choose you, Sydney, to be my wife.
I, Sean, choose you, Sydney, to be my wife.
I vow to love you unconditionally
I vow to love you unconditionally and without hesitation.
I vow to encourage and inspire you,
I vow to encourage and inspire you,
trust and respect you.
trust and respect you.
I promise to stand by your side
I promise to stand by your side
and be your closest confidant.
and be your closest confidant through our brightest and darkest days. We will continue to create a home filled with learning, laughter, and unwavering love. Today I commit to choosing you every day, to share my life openly and honestly with you. One more time. And support and share your despair and joy for all the days of my life. Thank you.
without further ado, please rise to celebrate, finally, and congratulate Mr. and Mrs. Robertson. You may kiss your spouse.